Okay, so I asked 8 content marketing leaders what is their top piece of advice to optimize content output. This was on season 1 of B2B Content Strategist podcast. Here are their answers.
Get your story right first. Know your audience intrinsically and focus on the smallest possible audience you can serve. Too many people think about serving too many audiences. Focus on the smallest possible. Get that story right. That will absolutely resonate.
Obsess over your audience. Practice like true empathy. Get to know, who it is you're really talking to. And don't forget that, right? Like always look at what you're doing through the lens of your audience. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't reached out to your audience, asked for feedback, do so, right? Don't be shy. Talk to people to understand what they really care about and really live and breathe that.
Make sure that you're up to speed on LinkedIn and using the algorithms to your best advantage. As I said to you before, I tend to go down a bit of a rabbit hole on LinkedIn, but there are some excellent forums out there where you can literally just get the latest reports that people have run to understand, okay, if I post at that time of day, or if I make sure I get employee engagement within the first 3 hours of the post going live, that will kickstart the algorithm and I'll get a lot more visibility on that.
I think probably have an idea of what you want to use it for, and design your information gathering to be repurposed.
Just ship it. So just get the work done, just publish something, get feedback and learn quickly, and don't wait for it to be perfect. Just ship it. That was a big mantra in the Supermetrics marketing team, particularly within our content team and in my previous company. And it was super valuable advice.
My advice is, and I followed this when I got into content, was I picked 1 or 2 things and I went really, really deep and I put all of my energy into it. And I was really confident that if these worked, it would open up new doors to new channels and new things, right? So ours was this research blog and LinkedIn. That was it. And they were tied because I would distribute the content through LinkedIn. Yeah. We just did that over and over and over for a good year. Then, we started adding video to LinkedIn, right? So it's like, okay, bulking up LinkedIn a little bit more. We're still not on Twitter. I mean, we are very lightly, but barely, basically not on Twitter. We're not really on Facebook organically. We're not really on YouTube except for putting our podcast there. Like we don't have a YouTube show. And we'll get there eventually, right? Like you can still be strategic and effective in a couple channels and build an entire content engine around that's really successful and fun to build, than thinking that you have to have a weekly webinar series or something like that.
Take a pause on new content and look at what you have right now, because there is so much opportunity to reuse and repurpose content. I'm a massive fan, of course, at Convince a Kid, where we talk about content atomization all the time. It's a core part of what Jay talks about all the time, but it really is, you have so much content you don't even necessarily realize in the archives that's still good.
There's some sort of problem that we're addressing. So be against that problem, right? Like don't be you and your customer on opposite sides of the table facing each other. Pull their seat next to yours. Now you're on the same side of the table facing the problem together. Yeah. I think that when you have that, output goes up, quality goes up, you become more aligned, and it does better for the business, which ultimately you can't serve your customers well if the business isn't profitable or growing or somehow able to get more and more resources to serve them.
For more B2B content and marketing strategy advice and insights, check out the full interviews with all of these content marketing leaders on the B2B Content Strategist podcast. Find all of the episodes for season 1 on your favorite podcast app or on the Content 10X website. Happy listening.